Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, it has been a little while since I've gotten down there in the comments with some of you and answered your questions, given you all a little bit of love, and just generally said hi. So let's dive into it. So I did this video a little while ago called How Do You Handle It If a Woman Says No? And I basically talked about how a lot of women worry about or they're conscious of safety when it comes to sex and dating, which is something that most men don't really think about. We're not thinking about our own safety generally when it comes to getting laid and having sex and relationships, but women are often thinking about that more than you could ever imagine. So I talked about that in this video, and we had two women who answered. One said, "One of your best videos. As a woman, I can only say thank you. Good to know that there are men like you." And then another woman says, "I agree with you. The sense of security and feeling that a man can give is the biggest turn on for me." Yeah. I have talked about this a lot. I've had a few women on my channel, a few of my female friends who have literally said, I get literally turned on when a man respects my no, or when he understands that I'm a little bit nervous, that I'm hesitant, that I have all these things going on in my head when we're about to go to the bedroom. I'm scared he might think I'm a slut. What if he sleeps with me and doesn't call me again or text me again? What will my friends think? Am I sure that I can be safe with him? Am I sure that he will listen if I hesitate or I say no? Because a lot of guys are just so obsessed with getting laid and getting that penis inside the hole that they're not really thinking about like her and is she having a good time? They're doing the bare minimum stuff, but they're not really thinking about what she might be going through. They're not asking her how she feels. So I have found in my own life when I just leave a little bit of room for a woman to say no, or can we go slow, or when I ask her what she wants, God damn, the number of women who have said, thank you for asking me. And this is why I say to all of you, rather than just like making a move on a woman and like basically not forcing, but like throwing yourself at her and just like grabbing her and trying to kiss her or something, I like to always say, you're hot, can I kiss you? Do you want to go back to my place and fool around? Do you want to go to the bedroom and have sex? Like, I just use my words and then we can talk about it. She could tell me what she wants. I can tell her what I want, and then we can figure it out together, rather than what a lot of you guys do, which is you put all the pressure on yourself to make a move, which is stressful and pressure for you guys. Like, you take so much of that pressure off if you just say, look, here's what I want. You're hot. I'd like to kiss you. Or you're hot, I want to have sex with you. Do you want the same thing? Then you don't have to put this pressure on yourself to be this smooth, charismatic, alpha fucking male Chad who makes a smooth move and kisses her at the right moment and all of that shit. You can just be like, I want you. Do you want the same thing? Takes the pressure off the performance, off your shoulders. And on this video here, where I talked about one of you guys who had approached their first woman ever, or maybe he was a coaching client, I can't quite remember. And Jordan says, cold approach takes guts. Well done. Yeah, it can be a little scary if you've never done it before to walk up to a woman and say, hi, I find you pretty, or hi, you're cute. Are you single? That can be very, very terrifying. It isn't necessarily something that most men, or a hell of a lot of men, ever really do. It's not something that most people think is even possible. A lot of people will see someone that they're attracted to and they'll go, oh, wow, they're so pretty. I wish we could be together. And that's about it. They don't walk up and say, hi, how's your day going? You're cute, you're pretty, whatever it might be. And so I give massive props to anyone who does it. I also give massive props to all of you who are out there just trying to do it. Every single woman that you walk past and you're not able to say hello to her, that's still a success. You are still moving one step closer to when you actually can do it. In fact, if you go over to my website, killyourinnerloser.com, I have this article here called Andy's Approach Anxiety Program, a program that every single guy can complete. And part of what I talk about here is if you can't hit on women yet, if you can't say, hi, you're cute, go outside every day and just think about doing it. Literally, with the women that you walk past that you find attractive, just imagine that you're saying hello to her. Imagine that you're hitting on her. Imagine that you're saying hi. Imagine what it would be like to make small talk. Imagine what it would be like to say, can I have your phone number? I'd love to take you out for a drink. Play it out in your head with every woman that you want to talk to. And this is called exposure therapy. Like, the more you start thinking about this, the more you go out there and just even entertain the idea of you possibly one day maybe saying hello to a girl you like, the closer you get to actually doing it. So yes, I give massive props to all of you who go out there and try. You are always, always, always going to have my deep, deep, deep respect. So on a video called Honesty, are you struggling to be honest? and where I advocated for honesty. Ziva Mean says, back at this video again, peace. I now have a deeper understanding of why you don't tell people what they should do. I didn't even notice, like I felt like I had to do certain things until very recently. Yeah, so on this channel, generally speaking, I am never going to tell any of you what to do. If you ever get the impression that I am telling you what to do, that's your own invention. That's your own projection. I make it very clear that all I'm talking about is the things that seem to work pretty well for me, the things that seem to work pretty well for my clients and my friends, but I am never going to tell you how to live your life. I'm never going to tell you who you should be or shouldn't be. I'm never going to guilt trip you or shame you. And part of the reason why I don't tell people what to do is because, first of all, how the fuck can I know what is best for your life? I'm not you. I'm not the one that has to live your life. You are. And so even if I tell you what to do, I have no responsibility for actually doing it. It's very easy to give advice to other people and tell them, like, you should do this, you have to do this, and like guilt trip them and shame them and all of that. And then you get to just like wash your hands of it and be like, well, I'm not the one that has to go out there and take action and live their life. So it's so easy to give advice when you don't have to be that person, right? And so I'm never going to tell you what to do. And the second reason I don't is because if I use the word should, if I tell you that you should do this, or you have to do this, or you must do this, that brings up feelings of guilt and shame in you. You feel guilty that you haven't already done it or that you're not doing it. You feel ashamed that like, oh, fuck, I'm not doing what I'm told. You feel like a bad person. And so I'm never going to sit there and tell you guys or girls what to do. It's not my role. I'm not your father. I'm not God. I'm not your dad. Girls might call me daddy, but I'm not your dad. And even women that I date, with all the BDSM and the dominance and the submission, I still never tell them what they should do. I ask for consent. I make sure they're having fun. At any point that I can see they might not be having fun, we stop and we talk about it. I'm not a big fan of telling any of you or anyone what to do, because you are you. You are in the best position to know what is best for your life. And if you're ever not sure, you can just try some things. You can ask for advice, all of that. I'll give suggestions. And most of what I talk about on this channel is suggestions, same as to my coaching clients, but I'm never going to tell you what to do. In fact, my favorite question to ask is, what would you like? What do you want? You know, I ask all the women that I date that question. I ask all of my coaching clients, what do you want? What would you like? Any of you that have sat down on a call with me, you know the very first question I ask, well, the first thing I say is hello. And then I say, what would you like from me? Or what do you want from me? Or what can I do for you? I'm asking other people. And then on another video about honesty, so this one was called Honesty, the Nuances of Honesty in Dating, Ziva Mean, again, you can tell he is on a little bit of a binge of honesty. I love that. Says, I've watched this video at least twice before, and just now this point is entering my mind. Be patient with yourself if you're still figuring out what you want. Isn't that funny? Because I literally just said that 5 seconds ago. Yeah. If you're not sure what you want, you can just go out there and try a bunch of different things. And, you know, we don't always have to have the answers. One of the women that I'm dating right now, Molly, and she's probably going to watch this video. So hi, baby girl. Probably just made her giggle when I said that, but she sometimes doesn't always know what she wants. And she puts a lot of pressure on herself to know what she wants and to have all the answers and all of that. And a lot of you do too. A lot of my coaching clients put tons of pressure on themselves, and they think they have to have their life figured out. They have to have a 5 or a 10-year plan. They have to know who they are and know what they want and all of that. And it's like, you don't have to know jack shit. Like, you weren't born with an instruction manual. We were all kind of just squirted out of our mother's vagina, and it's like, good luck, bitch. Like, welcome to life. I hope you figure existence out. And then you're trying to scramble. You feel like you're 10 steps behind, trying to scramble and figure all this out and go like, fuck, who am I? What am I supposed to be? What kind of person am I? What values and principles do I live by? How do I be a good person? What does it even mean to be a good person? How do I be perfect? Ah, shit, I don't know how to be perfect. Like, everyone else has probably got their shit together, but not me. We're all just kind of playing with half a deck of cards and trying to make it up as we go along. And so you don't have to always have the answers. You don't have to always know what you want or who you are or what your mission is or your purpose or any of that. What I usually say to people is just try some things that feel nice, and you'll kind of figure it out along the way. And even if you never figure it out, well, hey, that's okay. It's not a big deal. I know the world harps on a lot about purpose and meaning and mission and goals and ambition and all that sort of stuff. And this is primarily a self-improvement channel. And so you might feel some pressure of like, shit, who am I? I'm still figuring myself out. Fuck, I got to know what goals I'm working on. It's like, no, calm down. You're a human being. It's okay to be messy. It's okay to not have your shit together. It's okay to figure it out as you go And again, even if you never figure it out, that's okay too. Just have a little bit of fun, let go a little bit, try some things, see what feels good, see what doesn't, try some honesty, try some compassion, aim that stuff towards yourself, try some goals if you want to. We're all just here trying to have a good time and share some good vibes before we die. All right, and on this video called Why Dating Sucks for You, Unrealistic Expectations, this was a video where Cam and I had a little chat and we talked about how many guys and girls have all these expectations of what dating should be like. I should just immediately find the one with the very first person I talk to. Or, guys will often feel like I should be just having sex immediately the second that I start working on this stuff. And I should get 1 billion matches and I should never struggle and no woman should ever say no to me. And it's like your expectations are very unrealistic. Even some of you that think you have realistic expectations, I will often see comments or people will come to me for coaching and they'll go, I just can't figure this dating thing out. It's just, really unfair and I'm struggling and all of that. And I'm like, I hear you. How many women have you talked to? And they're like, man, I've talked to like 30 women. It's like 30. 30 is brilliant. I'm so fucking proud of you for that. That's amazing. But that's a good start. 30 a week is what I would like you to work up towards. If you can go outside and talk to 30 women a week, like in person, and then message, I don't know, another 30 to 50 girls on the dating apps, good. Keep that going and you will eventually find what you're looking for. But a lot of you think 30 women is like enough to find the love of your life or something. It's like, no, immediately half of those women are going to have a boyfriend or not be single or not be interested. Like immediately, half of them. And so this is a numbers game. But yeah, a lot of the time people just have sort of an unrealistic expectation of what the numbers game might mean. So Dutch in Brazil says, life is not fair, accept it or you will suffer more. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of a little bit of a quote that Byron Katie, one of my favorite people, often says, where she says like basically that. She's like, look, you can either you don't have to accept it. It's just much easier if you do. So you could say life is not fair. You don't have to accept that. It's just much easier if you do. And a lot of the time when you say life is not fair, people then take that as a negative and they're like, oh, life is unkind, life is suffering, life is miserable, God must be a masochist and the universe isn't fair and it hates me and all of that. And it's like, no, that's your own extra stuff you've added on top. It's more, and what Dutch in Brazil is saying, it's more that like, who promised you that everything would be exactly equal and that we all get equal opportunities and we all get equal amounts and we're all equal and exactly the same as each other? That would kind of be perfect, be boring because we'd all be perfect and there'd be no like differences or preferences. We'd all look the same. We'd all just be this like homogenous blob of equality. So yeah, life isn't equal. Life isn't fair, so to speak. The good news is we all have opportunity. We can all improve ourselves. We all have plenty of chances. Our mindset might tell us that we don't. We might be in a very negative mindset and playing not to lose and all of that kind of stuff. But we all have opportunities. We can all live the life that we want to live. Some of us might have to work a little bit harder than others. That's okay. Then just get to work and work harder than others. Like a lot of you get very upset about things like you're like, I'm short or I'm bald. Yep, I'm bald too. Or I'm old, or I'm this race, or I'm that, or, you talk about your perceived negatives, your perceived flaws, and you say, it's not fair. And it's like, okay, cool. If you're shorter than some giant, tall, alpha male Chad, then just work 3 times harder than him. Like a lot of people will complain and go, it's not fair. Like women will date these tall, white, handsome guys. And it's like, yeah, cool. So just work 5 times harder than that tall, handsome, white guy. Go talk to 5 times as many women as him. He might only need to talk to, 10 women if he's ridiculously hot and handsome and rich and famous and shit. Maybe he doesn't have to do anything. Maybe he just goes outside and he talks to like 5 women and then he gets a girlfriend. Cool. So you go outside and talk to 30 women and then get a girlfriend. Like just try harder. If it's 5 times harder for you to get a girlfriend than the hot guy, then just go talk to 5 times as many women. Like it's not complicated. It's just basic maths. Just go do more. But a lot of people will throw in the towel and say, it's not fair, therefore I should give up. And it's like, well, now you're definitely not going to get what you want if you don't even try. So yeah, just if it's harder, then just go try harder. All right. And another comment from that same video from before, the video, how do you handle it if a woman says no, where I just talked about safety and that women are often thinking about safety, which is something that most guys just don't really think about. Like nothing against most guys. They're just like, it's just not something you think about. Expert Cheek Clapper, one of the OGs of the channel, says the girl that I'm dating at the moment said it meant so much to me when I pointed out the exit button on the gate to my apartment in case she wanted to leave for any reason. Safety really is a huge turn on. Yeah, I have like 10 billion stories about this. Like one of the things that I often say to women before we go to the bedroom, because I obviously do BDSM and all of that, and that can be quite intimidating or nerve-wracking for some women who've never really done it. But one of the things that I say to all of them is like, if at any point you want to slow down, just say like, hey, can we slow down? And I'm going to ask you a bunch of times how you're feeling, if this is fun, if you're enjoying this, all of that. And I will stop, like with a new partner, I will stop probably every 5 minutes. The first session that we have together, every 5 minutes, I'll just stop. I'll stop touching her. I'll stop saying anything. I'll stop doing anything. And I'll just kind of chill a little bit. You know, maybe she's tied up. Maybe she's blindfolded. And I'll just say, how are you feeling? And then she'll tell me. And most of the time they're like, good. And I'm like, good girl. Do you want to keep going? And then she'll go, yes, please. And then cool, we keep going. Sometimes when I stop and say, how are you feeling? They're like, good. And I'm like, do you want to keep going or would you like a break? And they're like, is it okay if we maybe take a little break? And I'll go, of course. I'll take the blindfold off. I'll untie them. I'll give them a big cuddle. I'll say, what do you want to do? Do you want to hang out here and talk for a little bit? Do you want to listen to the music? Because I always have music playing. Do you want to go for a walk? You want to just cuddle? What do you want? And then whatever they want, I give that to them. The number of women who have said like, holy shit, that was so hot that you kept stopping. And I'm like, hot? Like when you say hot, you mean like it was actually sexy? And they're like, yeah, it made me fucking want you more when you stopped, gave me a cuddle. Because then I felt like I could really let go and be more in the moment, because good sex requires being in the moment. And again, most men, not all men, but most men or a lot of men by default, we're pretty decent at being in the moment. Like once you get us pretty horny, we're not really thinking about like work stress or like, am I safe right now? Is this woman going to kill me right now? Or is she going to fuck my brain? Like we're pretty comfortable, and not all the time. You know, a lot of you have some performance anxiety or erectile dysfunction, blah, 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 or work stress or whatever. But like most of the time or a lot of the time, we can be very present when we're turned on. But for a lot of women, they're still thinking about safety, especially the first couple of times they have sex with you or you have sex with them. Like they're thinking about safety. And so if you can help them let go of that, then they're going to be more present. They get more wet. They're more in the moment. They're more thinking about your dick and your hands and your tongue and your words and your body and how you two feel together. They're literally more present. And being present during sex is the way to have really good sex. And so, yeah, it's these little things. Like you don't even have to do anything crazy. You don't have to sit down and have like a 20-page safety manual that you read out to her and be like, listen, woman, I take safety seriously. You put your little safety glasses on, you got your helmet, and you're like, we take safety very seriously around here, young lady. Like, here's my 20-step consent form. Like, I'm going to ask you for consent for, like, you don't have to do anything crazy like that. But it's just the basic shit of like, can I kiss you? Do you want to come back to my place and fool around? You know, slowing down a little bit during sex and saying, how you feeling? Is there anything else you want? Like during sex, just stop for a second and go like, what do you want right now? And she'll be like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, guys don't ask me that question. What do I want? What do I want? Can you go down on me? Can we make out? Can I give you a blowjob? Like she gets to speak up and say what she wants. Just like the little basic things that, again, I think as guys, we're often not really thinking about that shit. It doesn't take a lot, just like a tiny little bit like that. And then afterwards, the basic shit, like give her a big cuddle and say like, how you feeling? Was that fun? Is there anything else you want to try next time? Like, you're so pretty. You're such a good girl. That was really fun. Thank you for sharing all of that with me. Just like shit like that. Yeah, it's just the basics. Maybe we'll read out a couple more comments and then we might finish this video. So this was on a video called We Interviewed a Professional Dominatrix, Dom Claire. And for full context behind this video, my friend Brandon the Dom, he and I had a conversation in a previous episode where we said a lot of like female dominance, like femdom, you know, doms, dominatrix, whatever you want to call them, or whatever they call themselves, I guess. A lot of them are maybe not super nice to the men. Like a lot of female domination involves degradation, humiliating the guy, calling him a little pussy and a little sissy and all of that. And that stuff can be fun, but like we've just found that that's like the majority of like female dominance out there that we've found. It's like they don't really care about the man. They kind of almost hate men, or you get the sense that they don't have a very high opinion of men, and they don't necessarily want the man to have a good time. And so Brandon went out and did a bit of research, and he was like, surely there has to be some female dominatrix out there, dominatrixi, whatever the plural for dominatrix is. There's got to be some female doms out there who spread a bit of love, who want their submissives, their men to have a really good time, who want to leave all the men better than they found them, who want to mentor them and guide them and build them up and all of that. Because that's the kind of sex that I like to have. That's the kind of sex that Brandon likes to have. And quite a lot of my male friends who are dominants, they want the women to have a good time. They want the women to leave the bedroom better than they entered it, right? And so we found this lovely lady, Dom Claire, and she has a couple of interviews with one of her male submissives, and the guy's name is Alan. You can find that on her channel. And Alan just seems like really switched on, very aware of why he wants to be submissive and submit to her. And she seemed very, very switched on in that interview too. And she talked a lot about like loving, like she cares for all of her submissives. She loves them. She wants to mentor them and have a good time. She basically does the female version of what I like to do in the bedroom. She's basically a life coach for a lot of her male submissives. Like literally she helps them with their goals and comes up with a, formula for like how they're going to achieve their goals, and she does accountability and all of that. And then obviously she does like BDSM stuff with them as well. And so we sat down, we interviewed her. She's amazing. If you haven't watched that interview, I really recommend watching it. Even if you have literally zero interest in BDSM, like that's just not your cup of tea, it's still ridiculously fascinating to just hear what it's like to be a professional dominatrix. Like this is how she pays her bills. Like it's really interesting, and she's really well spoken. She's a really kind, gentle person, even though she gets up to a little bit of roughness, when she does her BDSM. But yeah, she was amazing. So Brandon, the dom, who was part of that interview, says Claire is an absolute legend. This was a great conversation. Yeah, it was. And we talked with her quite a bit off camera as well, for like a couple of hours off camera, and like, guys, she's like a really, really, really cool, interesting, and very nice person. We're probably going to do some collabs again and do more, content. So if any of you have any questions that you want me to ask her, like if you're curious about being a professional dominatrix or just like anything like that, feel free to leave a comment and I will ask her. And then JB-WJ5YE says, loved this, was beautiful, grateful very much. Thank you as well, my friend. All right, I think we'll leave it there. If any of you would like coaching on any of the topics we talked about today or anything we didn't cover, you can check out the coaching programs below. I got 2 programs. One is the big hardcore VIP program where you'll work directly with me basically every single day. I'll be your personal cheerleader, your mentor, your guide in this world and all of that. We also have the more accessible $200 a month coaching program called the Abundance Collective. That is down there as well. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there, crush those goals, have fun, keep being your wonderful, amazing selves.